a warm welcome to this live session in my channel Holistic Health with Dr-Deb. And I am particularly very excited today because, as you can see, I am doing this live in the outdoors because this is a fantastic weather here today in Bharat, in near Kolkata, although it might rain very soon. So as you get ready for this live session, I first want to welcome you all in this very, very important discussion today, which is regarding some holistic health lifestyle tips, particularly during this summer. And today in this particular session, I wanted to host this very quick session, particularly guided towards our water. So as you know, during the summer times, one of the most important drink is our water. And I will be sharing in this live session today 4 practical tips which we can use to have the best of the water that we consume, especially during these times. And I would say that some of the tips that you will see, it's not necessarily just for the summer time. You can also apply these tips on other times of the day when there is sufficient amount of heat or things like that. So again, I welcome you all in this quick live session on holistic health and wellness lifestyle tips on especially how to charge your water. And while you guys are settling in, please let me know if my audio and video is fine, and if you have any issues, please write in the chat section here so I can see. And of course, if you want, you can also post your questions during this live session also, and as they pop up, I will try my best to answer them live, or otherwise I will answer them after the live session is over. Anyhow, so let's dive straight into it. Let's dive straight into the discussion of holistic health and wellness tips, especially for the summer, where how to supercharge our water that we drink. 4 practical tips that we can apply, and it's very easily applicable in our day-to-day life. Oftentimes, many of the holistic health and wellness tips I see regarding my clients, they say, oh, I cannot do this because it's not practical for me, or is it even viable for me because I have, like, say example, I am a busy professional, I cannot do this tip because it's not applicable to me. But here I will share 4 practical tips that anybody and everybody will be able to implement in their life, especially during these summer times. If you are the northern hemisphere, so I guess you are also having summer and the heat is getting very scorchy. And I welcome all of the viewers here. And if you want, please write down in the comment section, in the chat section, where you are joining from. I welcome you all. Welcome. If you are joining in the very first session of my live, so welcome you all. And if you are a repeated viewer, that's also wonderful, and I welcome each one of you. So let's come back straight to our topic, which is 4 practical, easily implementable ways in which we can get maximum out of our water that we drink in this hot, sunny. As you can see, just see the clouds. It's not feeling like as much summer, but trust me, it's very hot in near Kolkata, and I'm sure in different parts of India. So let's dive straight into it. And if you have a pen and a paper, you can sit down with a pen and a paper to just write down 4 points. Okay, 4 practical tips. Let's get straight into it. Number 1, one of the easiest way and one of the most ancient ways that people have been utilizing the technique of cooling their water is by using earthen pot, or they are called matka. mitti ka matka, as simple as that. In Bengali we say jala. Mitti ka matka, have you seen? So basically there is specific way for using the mitti ka matka. Okay, for how to use that mitti ka matka? First thing is, basically you wash it off, not with soap, just with plain water. You wash the internal and external side out, so that any scrapes of the earthen pot, any scrapes of the earth element, whatever is there, any dust, they goes away. And also to activate the pores, of the earthen matka. So the first tip, those who are joining in right now, the first tip I'm talking about is using earthen matka, like mitti ka matka. Before using the first time, you wash it off very, very properly with fresh water, running water. Make sure there is no scrapes, and you activate the pores of the mitti ka matka by actually keeping a matka full of water, and you don't use it. The first round you don't use it. You keep it just to activate the pores. Later on you throw the water out. You dump the water out. So you basically, when you bring a matka from the market, you wash it with running water. Then make sure there is no dust particles, earth particles inside in it. So you wash them off. Then you store filtered water. You stored filtered water in the mitti ka matka, and you save it. You keep it. You don't use the water. Remember, you keep it for 3 to 4 hours, 3 to 5 hours, just to activate the pores. And even better, if you can take a cotton piece of cloth, you soak it in water. That water, you can do it in the filter water, or you can use it with like regular tap water. Soak it, a cotton piece of cloth, soak it in the water, and then wrap the body of the earthen matka with that cloth. Why so? Because it keeps the heat exchange of the matka continued. Because as you know, basically the body of the matka, it takes the heat from the water and it makes it evaporate. If you soak the body of the matka with water, the water gets evaporated, right, in the heat. So it takes the heat from the water inside to get evaporated. So basically that water on the wrapped cloth in turn works as cooling down the temperature of the water inside, because it takes up whatever heat is needed for it to get evaporated. And of course the heat it gets from the sun. So anyway, so basically in terms of practical tips how to do it, you get an earthen, first tip is use earthen matkas. Get an earthen matka, 5 liter, 10 liter, 15 liters, whatever you get from the market. You get it, wash it properly, throw away all the dust particles inside. Then you wrap the outside body of the matka with a water soaked cloth. You wrap it, and you keep filtered water within the matka for the first 3 to 5 hours to activate the pores, and then you throw away the water before you actually put the second round of water which you drink. Now many a times you will see the matkas will come with a tap at the bottom of the matka. It will come with a tap where you can actually dispense the water. That's also fine, or just a simple matka with a matka lid, earthen lid. You open the lid and you pour the water in your glass. As simple as that. Simple. Now, why is it important? First thing is, of course, to keep the water cool. Like I said, by keeping a wrapped cloth around. So first thing is, it will help you to keep the water cool. Second thing, even more important, is it will help the water to maintain its alkalinity, to maintain the alkalinity of the water. Okay? You know, most often than not, during these days of our imbalanced diet and lifestyle, our bodies generally are more on the acidic side. So we need the alkalinity to combat the acidity, that acidic nature of our bodies. Okay, so the earth element actually is alkaline in nature, and it will help us to keep some of the alkalinity, right, to maintain the alkalinity in our body. It's very windy in here. I hope that the audio is just fine and you can still hear me. If not, please write in the chat. I will move to a different location. So the first tool, those who are joining in right now, 4 tips I will share. The first tip I shared is to use earthen matka to maintain certain amount of alkalinity in the water, and of course to keep the water cool. Okay, now moving on to the second tip. Let me see, I think the wind is okay, I think it's better here. So the second tip to supercharge your water, especially during these summer times, is, can you guess? The second tip will be, basically you sunbathe your water. Now you might say, what is sunbathing? Sunbathing means basically keeping in the sun. Now it's not to heat up your water. The idea is to keep, suppose you are using an earthen matka, you use the earthen matka, you fill the earthen matka with water. After that cleaning process is done, you fill it with filtered water that you will be actually drinking, cover it up with the earthen lid, and you, or you can cover it up with a muslin cloth. You can keep in the sun, just keep in the sun, just to have the energy of the sun infuse in the water. The fire element, basically you are allowing the fire element to come in contact with the water. Of course, if there is a possibility of killing any germs by the heat of the sun, it will be doing that. But also, if you think of in the Panchabhuta theory, the earthen pot, it's made of earth. You are keeping the water and you are allowing the sun to it. And of course, when you are keeping outside, say on the roof or something, covering it properly on the sun, it will also have the air. So basically, you are allowing all the bhutas to interact with the water, and especially the sun energy, which is the main responsible energy for our tejas. Tejas means our aura, our teja. You are allowing the water to have that energy from the teja. And you might know, it is scientifically proved. You can just look up and you will find tons and tons and tons of studies that comes up saying that how water has memory. I don't need to say many things regarding how water has memory. You will very easily find it if you just look up. So if you keep the water under the sun, it will memorize the energy of the sun in it. And sun, what does it correspond to? It's the masculine energy, it's the rajasic energy, it's the energy of fire. It's the energy of fire to get things done. Okay, so I talked about the second tip to supercharge your water during the summer, especially, is to use the excess fire energy of the sun available, not to heat up the water. Again, please, the idea is not to heat up the water. You keep the water in the matka, close it with either a muslin cloth or the matka lid, the earthen lid. Take the matka and keep it in the sun or in your balcony or in the windowsill if the sunlight is coming from there, and you allow the water to memorize the sun energy, the rays of the sun, so that it infuses, so that that water infuses and memorizes the energy of the sun, and you drink that charged water. Okay, it's also allowing your water to have the contact of the as the Pancha Mahabhutas. What are the 5 Mahabhutas, by the way? The Pancha Mahabhutas that everything is made up of, including our body, including everything that you see in this material world. The Pancha Mahabhutas are: first, earth element; second, water element; third is the fire element; fourth is the air element; and fifth is the space or akash element. Okay, so you are allowing your water to come in contact with as many of the bhutas as possible. So basically, I am mainly talking about to get that tejas from the sun, and you allow that water to memorize that sun energy, so it infuses within us the fire energy. And the fire energy corresponds to the energy of passion, energy of getting things done, energy of having willpower, energy of having confidence, say confidence of speaking publicly right in front of the camera, energy of taking bold action steps that you have been always thinking so far but not taking. So whatever I'm talking about is, the second step is all about infusing the water with that energy, okay, the sun energy. So right now I covered 2 things, right? First is using an earthen matka, right? Using an earthen matka, I talked about how to clean it. The second thing is sunbathing the water. If you are using the matka, keep it in the sun, sunbathe the water for some time, say 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours, however long you have got, sunbathe that water, and you take it back home inside, and then you drink that water. So I covered 2 tips so far. I welcome everybody who is now joining in. Please type in the chat if you would like where you are joining from. I would love to hear, or if you have any questions. Now let's move on to the third of the 4 tips. You can use tama ka bartan. Tama ka bartan means some utensils made of copper. So nowadays it has become very easy. In previous days, we have seen our grandpas, grandmothers, they were using copper glasses, copper bottles and things like that, copper vessels. So another is to use copper vessels. Now it can be copper bottle, or it can be even matkas made of copper. If you look up in your favorite shopping site, copper vessels or copper matkas, 5 liters, 10 liters, you will find very easily nowadays. It has become, people have started to become more and more aware. So copper vessels. Now, first thing I would like to mention from my own experience is that please make sure you get the best quality copper that you can get, or unreliable quality of copper, because if the copper is not of good quality, what happens is that it rusts from inside very, very easily and quickly, and it's not very pleasing. It's not very pleasing to look at the rust if it is going inside the bottle and you don't want to drink from it. So please make sure it's the right kind of copper. And the other thing is the cleansing process of that copper bottle. So every now and then, every few days, maybe even every other day, you can use some pink salt, Himalayan pink salt, or even like regular salt, and some tartaric acid like the tamarind, or some lemon. You can put it in the copper water bottle, and you take some filtered water, regular water. No need to of using hot water. Lukewarm water is fine. You can take some lukewarm water, then shake it. Then shake the bottle very vigorously with that Himalayan pink salt and with that lemon or tamarind that you're using, and you shake it upside down. You keep the water bottle, after shaking, you keep the water bottle standing for say a few minutes. Then you can turn it upside down, keep few minutes, and then throw away the water to clean the inside part. And for outside part also, to maintain the glaze of that copper bottle or the copper vessel, you can use tamarind, or again salt and lemon you can use to scrub it. Please do not use any soap, because it might interact with the metal. So having said that, why is the copper? So again, copper infuses the water with certain amount of alkalinity, and I would say that first 2 things to keep in mind regarding these copper vessels and bottles. One is how to clean it. Second is not to keep the water for too long. I would say if you are going to bed and if you have filled that water with filtered water, and if you are keeping it overnight for 8-9 hours, that's fine. But please make sure that you are not just letting the water stand for more than 8-10 hours or 12 hours. Just drink it. Make sure you are drinking from it and not letting the water stand inside the copper vessel, okay, or the copper water bottle. And please remember about the cleaning instructions I gave you. Please do not use any soap for the copper vessels. So far I covered 3 of the 4 tips of how to use your water during the summer times. Number 1 I talked about is use our good old days earthen matka, earthen pots. Number 2, and in the earthen pots I talked about how to first clean it before you use it for the first time. Number 2 is basically sunbathing the water, to infuse the tejas of the sun, not to heat up the water and drink hot water in the summer, but I'm just saying to infuse. And as you can imagine, you can actually do it throughout the year. You can actually do it all the time, to have that tejas infused in the water, the sun element, the fire element infused in the water. So that was the second tip. Third tip I talked about is to use copper vessel like copper matka or the copper bottle, okay? And the last but no less important tip, regarding supercharge your water, especially during summer, is infusing the water with vegetables and some fruits. For example, you cut some slices of cucumber and you put few strands of mint leaves. Mint is the pudina leaves, or even coriander leaves, mint leaves. You cut some sliced cucumber and you keep it in the bottle. Just put it inside the bottle and let the bottle sit with it So it will infuse the water with its minerals and its cooling properties, like the pudina, coriander leaves, cucumber, even lemon slices, the green lemons, okay, not the yellow ones. So they will infuse the water, first of all, with the necessary minerals that they have. Second of all, it will infuse a cooling virya, the shita virya, in the water. Okay, it will have a cooling karma. It will increase the cooling karma of that water. So basically, you can also use some vegetables like some, say, celery sticks, or say some of the vegetables that you use for your cooking. You can, especially like stems like celery sticks and things like that, you can cut it small pieces and you can keep it in the water. Okay, so like that, I talked about four ways that you can supercharge your water. The first thing I talked about is to use earthen pots, earthen matka, okay, earth matka. The second thing I talked about is to sunbathe the water, yeah, to infuse the water with the sun energy. The third thing I talked about is using the copper vessels or the copper matka or the copper water bottle. Important things to remember is how to clean the copper vessel and how long to keep the water in that copper vessel. And the last but no less important is infusing fruits and vegetables, specific fruits and vegetables in the water. You don't have to overdo it. Just one or two is fine. For example, few slices of cucumber and few strands or few leaves of pudina or the mint or a few leaves of coriander is just fine. Or another day you can do you can use oranges, right? The specific kind of oranges that is available in your geography. You can cut that fruit in round pieces or in half round and half semicircles. You can cut those slices of the fruit and you can keep in the water. The veggies like celery stick, like any leafy green vegetable, the stick, you can put it inside the water. Okay, like the zucchini. Okay, in US they have the zucchini. In India we call it like the ridge gourd or the snake gourd. Any kind of vegetables that we eat, wash it well and then cut it in small pieces, put it in the water, so that will infuse the required minerals in the water and will also allow the water to have the shita virya of the vegetables, okay, that actually cools our body. So having said that, these were the 4 tips I wanted to share with you that you can use on a daily basis to supercharge your water. 4 tips that are practically doable, and it's feasible to implement, and not it's like a mammoth task that you are not able to actually implement, right? So with that, I just wanted to share that. I hope that you will be able to implement one or more of these tips that I shared with you. And if you have any questions regarding the tips that I have shared, please let me know what are the questions. I will be happy to answer to the best of my knowledge. And again, if you have any specific request of specific topics that you want to hear from me, please write that in the comments also. With that, thank you so much for being a part of this live session. I hope you gotten some value from this session, and if you did, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so that you get the notification of these live sessions or any other video I publish first before everybody else. Okay, and if you have not liked that video yet, and if you have enjoyed the video and come this far, please do hit that like button also. That really helps for YouTube algorithm to know that this is useful and they will send it to other people also. Thank you so much. Take care. I will see you soon in another video. Hari Om.